Well, welcome to another episode of Let the Truth Be Told. My name is Sean Williams, and I thank the Lord for being in the studio once again. Being in the studio with my good friend Herbert, Burnett, my good friend Jason. It's always a blessing to be in the studio, to be able to come in front of the viewing audience and be able to share with you great folks. We've had a lot of things going on in the community in the past since the last episode. Got a lot of response out of the last episode. So I thank you guys that stop us throughout the week and say, hey, Sean, keep on doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You and Brother Hub, keep it up.
Yes, sir.
Because somebody got to be the tough guy.
Yeah.
Somebody got to say the hard things. Somebody got to say the tough stuff. Somebody got to speak up for our community. You know, we always had a program entitled "The Wilderness is Crying Out for a Voice." Well, thank God that we're that voice to be able to cry out and say, "Hey, look, man, we've been saying it for a long time. Man, we need help. We need help. We need to come together. We need things that need to be imparted within our community that's viable to make a difference." And so I thank the Lord for what he's done for me and you throughout our lifetime to build us up for a time as this. And so I thank God for that. Hub, Coach Hub, Minister Hub, Suits by Soldier Hub, introduce yourself.
Yeah, Sheena, if we miss any, she gonna tell me, they didn't say Professor Hub. Shout out to Sheena. I just want to start off with the scripture.
Let me take these glasses off so you can see.
Because I'm really trying to be real positive today. I really don't want to let no negativity in. Bishop Gwynn taught me about 15 or 20 years ago. He preached a message: is it kind? Is it true? Is it necessary? And so it's going to be very hard for me to stick to that today, but I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try my best because I come to help.
Right.
You know, but I'm fired up. I've been up all night. I've been in the Word all night long. Been reading. And so I'm fired up. So you got to help me.
Try to stay focused.
You gonna help me.
Try to stay focused.
You gonna help me. So I do want to read this scripture. Just Sean haven't even seen this scripture, and it's gonna cover everything he got on this page because we vibe like that. Our hearts are joined. 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter. And we're going to start at the first verse, and I'll just read until the Spirit cuts me off. But it's in the Message Bible, Sean. I like the Message Bible because it makes it plain. I got a lot of young Thundercats who come to me, man, I can't understand the Bible. Go to the Message. Go to the Message. It's going to break it down to you. So I'm talking to a large audience, and I want to do the Message. It says, don't be naive. There are difficult times ahead. As the end approaches, people are going to be self-absorbed, money-hungry, this is the Bible now, self-promoting, stuck up, profane, contemptuous of parents, crude, coarse, dog-eat-dog, unbending, slanderous, impulsive, wild, savage, cynical, treacherous, ruthless, bloated windbags, addicted to lust and allergic to God. That's what I really wanted to name the program today, addicted to lust and allergic to God. They'll make a show of religion, but behind the scenes, they're animals. Stay clear of these people. Verse 6, we still in the Bible. These are the kind of people who smooth talk themselves into homes of unstable and needy women and take advantage of them. Women who, depressed by their sinfulness, take up with every new religious fad that calls itself the truth. They get exploited every time and never really learn. These men are like the old Egyptian pharaohs, Janus and Jambres, who challenged Moses. They were rejects from the faith, twisted in their thinking, defying truth itself. But nothing will come of these latest impostors. Everyone will see through them, just as people saw through the Egyptian hoax. Verse 10, you've been a good apprentice, it's Paul talking to Timothy, to me, and part of my teaching, my manner of life, direction, faith, steadiness, love, patience, trouble, sufferings. Suffer along with me in all grief I have to put up with in Antioch, Iconium, Lystra, and you all so well know that God rescued me. Anyone who wants to live all out for Christ is in for a lot of trouble. There's no getting around it. Unscrupulous con men will continue to exploit the faith. They're as deceived as the people they lead astray. As long as they are out there, things can only get worse. But don't let it faze you. This is what part that encouraged me. Don't let it faze me. Stick with what you learn and believe, sure of the integrity of your teachers. While you took in the sacred scripture with your mother's milk, there's nothing like written word of God for showing you the way to salvation through faith in Christ Jesus. Every part of scripture is God-breathed and useful one way or another, showing us truth, exposing our rebellion, correcting our mistakes, training us to live God's way. Through the word, we are put together and shaped up for the task God has for us.
Wow, wow, wow. So that's Paul talking to Timothy.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, so in thinking about today's show, with everything that had happened in our community across the country, just kind of giving a backdrop. I know you're going to give us some bullet points of some of the things that's been going on around the country, but just here locally, and the things that we've always talked about on this program as far as, resources and sounding the alarm of what the pulse is on the streets, and so we've seen the revelation of what we've been talking about happening right before our eyes. And so when I get calls from different folks from the city and stuff like that saying, Sean, what's going on? Well, it's what we've been talking about. And I think it's just been falling on deaf ears because we get so normalized by things. We get so normal that it's starting, we get immune to it. That's something like it's supposed to happen this way. Or we get some type of benefit out of it that it's just every day. It's what happens every day. So give us our bullet points.
Before I get bullet points, I want to talk about the phone call that I just got.
Okay.
But I want you to elaborate because I could take it a whole nother way. I could address the haters.
Okay.
But I want to do that because I want to give this guy his flowers.
Let's get that out.
Just got a phone call from Jim Rosso, Vice President of News Gazette.
Yeah.
Jay Simpson, a young man that I partnered up with the News Gazette and handpicked him to be a writer. And so I just got a phone call from Jim Rosso that he won 2 of the top awards in the state. The new Writer Award and the Rookie of the Year, and then the other one was
Columnist of the Year.
Columnist of the Year. And so I could take that a whole different way, but I don't want to do that because I'm going to stay reeled in. So could you just...
this young man, I've been knowing this young man since a baby. He's always been he was always a big old baby. His mama bring him to the barbershop, so we knew he was going to be a giant. He went off and played excellent basketball in the community, went to college. Things probably didn't work out for whatever reasons. And then he came back to the community like so many young people. Just trying to figure his way. You thought it was a great opportunity for him to be able to now speak about young folks through the News Gazette. You built a relationship with the News Gazette, despite of what all the murk is, because despite about who likes who, it's all about relationships, and we've been talking about that for years. So you had a special relationship, which you utilized that to catapult somebody else to another level, and that's what we're supposed to do. Right. That's what you're supposed to do. But we kind of harbor those relationships for our own benefits. So you was able to part that, get this young man employed over there at the News Gazette, which now then catapulted him where he's able to talk about African American issues that's going on in the community from that perspective, from that eyes, right? And now has got him an award, a recommendation, and an attaboy saying keep on doing what you're doing. And what I heard through the phone call that the other news affiliates that have given him this accolade, it was folks like the Chicago Tribune. I heard that.
I'm about ready to cry because I got 50 more Jay Simpsons in the chamber, right? But we got to redirect the resources. Some of these shooters, I done told them when they came here, some of the shooters, I said shooters. Man, just be careful, because I'm working on something. I'm working on something, and I got you. And the only thing is holding me up is resources. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to say the only thing that's holding us up, let me clean that up, us up, is resources. I got 50 more J. Simpsons in the chamber, just waiting on the opportunity. Right? But you got to speak their language.
Yeah.
And the people in, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, the people in the key positions don't speak their language. Mm-hmm. And they trying to do it themselves so they can get the shine. But it's not going to happen. I'm gonna let you go, because I'll roll a whole different way.
But I mean,
these guys, all they waiting on is opportunity.
So, Hub, let me go here.
Can you tell the story right now?
So let me
Just go tell the story right now. Tell the story about when we was in front of your barbershop. Let's get that out the way now. Please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Want me to get on my knees?
No, we gonna
okay.
get there.
All right, because I'm hyped.
So I mean, I feel you when you speak about these young guys. We've had over I think almost 70 shootings that have happened in Champaign since January. We in COVID now. We in COVID now. You know, we ain't supposed to be around each other like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you ain't had the vaccine. You know, and so, but we've had that many shootings going on. We just recently, young man I just hugged on, you know, last week sometime, he just got murdered. You know, his brother just got home. You know, I just hugged on him at the barbershop. You know, young man, part of CU Fresh Start, he just got murdered Friday night. You know, that we talked to before, you know, and so many different things. You know, I'm working on some funerals right now for a young lady that got killed in a car accident, and so my emotions, I'm trying to keep them intact.
Right. The young man, but the young man that got killed, it hit near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
I'm talking all the way back to 2008 when I first got here and was selling out my trunk in front of your shop.
Yeah.
And him and his brothers was shopping with me. Prentice, they was all shopping with me, right? But then when he went to jail, I told his mama, Teresa, run them addresses to me, to the jail, right? So when he got out, he came straight here. He the one got kept. He's the little brother. Yeah. Then he brought the big brother here a couple of months ago. Yeah. We laced him out. Man, your money don't spend here. I ain't forgot.
Yeah.
And so this one is close, and it's my oldest daughter's first or second cousin. Yeah. Right? And so this is why I'm a different cat right now.
But see, what I want to do is I want to get the viewing audience a temperament, right? In case they didn't know. Okay. This is the temperament. This is the environment. This is what we woke up to today, right? And so I want to give them a temperament. But let's go back to parking lot, right? Let's go back. Let's go back. These young men grew up in my shop, right? I could have been that barber that just cut hair. But that wasn't me. I was so appreciative of these young men and the folks that was on the streets, you know, the castaways, the people that they said that's no good. I was appreciative because they liked Sean, and they liked the Miel, and they liked the guys in there, and we developed an atmosphere of a family.
Give me 5 seconds. I compare losing the whip with losing the Urban League. That's how important that barbershop was.
Right.
Continue.
Right. And but we developed an atmosphere and a relationship with them guys, man. And so we would communicate, we would talk. I would look out the window and I could see the pain. I could see the pain. I could see the pain. I could see the frustration. I could hear it. I would talk to these young guys. I would talk to guys when the coaches let them down, and you know, and they knew that they was talented. They knew that they, you know, things would, you know, they can get to another level. But because of selfishness with coaches and stuff like that, these guys end up going to the streets. They instead of going off and being a J that's getting an award. They they going to the jail because of a drug offense, you know, or they going, they getting in life and they cannot keep a productive family. They can't run a productive family because they know they should be further. You know when your gift is boiling in you.
Well, here's the key. Throw this commercial, I'm gonna give it right back to you. And this is what I tell them. If you can sell something that you got to keep a secret and be successful, how much more successful could you be if you could let everybody know you got it?
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah. And so I would see that happening, man. But it seemed like nobody cared.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like nobody cared.
Mm-hmm.
You know, despite of you hearing the story, everybody go back to like business as usual.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the funerals I do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, during that week, I mean, everybody want to do something.
Mm-hmm.
You see everybody on Facebook saying, "Oh, they're a great guy. That was a great girl. She was this, she was that." You know, and all these different things. But the next week, after all the repast meal done been ate, you know, the flowers didn't start to wilter. Everybody going back to business as usual. And that's what was happening during these folks' lives.
You in my notes, man. Do you remember QRF in the military? QRF, when you in wartime or you in NTC, which is Natural Training Center, when anything happened, they call QRF. QRF is a quick reactionary force, and they go wherever smoke is, right?
Right.
It ain't no big war. It's just a little skirmish. And they send QRF, right? And they send QRF, and QRF go over there and handle the skirmish, and then it go back to being normal.
Right.
Right. And in the child line, if you on QRF, you say QRF, everybody has to scoot out of the way and let you eat. Yeah,
because you got something to do. You got a mission. You on mission.
I mean, I can't apologize
You on mission.
for being a soldier. I am, Sean.
Yeah.
Or you being a soldier.
Yeah.
We can't apologize. And so when I'm looking at what's happening after these latest shootings, it's QRF, man.
Yeah.
In 10, 15 days, it'll be back to normal, man. And Sean, I've watched this since I was following you around like a little puppy in 2009 when Keywan got shot.
And it's sad.
Rinse and repeat is what we call it in the stock market.
It's sad because of the fact that it's regurgitated pain. And if it haven't hit your house and you don't make it to the meeting, watch out.
Right.
If you don't care about it and you seem to be immune to it, or it ain't my problem, well, watch out. Because if it's unaddressed issues that has been happening generations after generations and generations, and it's because of the fact that we have not used our facilities, we have not used our mics. So when the city official, I talked to him on the phone right after this last shooting, he said, "Sean, what do you think we can do?" I said, "Bro, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you." I said, "It's one of the only times I can't give you no answers."
I had about 15 people ask me, and I don't tell them nothing because all they want to do is take my words and go repeat them like they said it. And that's sad, but I'm tired of it, man.
You know,
do what you've been doing.
I think that's what made me respond back to you and say, "Man, we're gonna stay in our lane. We're gonna keep doing what we want to do." You know, when the people run up to us and say, what must I do to get saved? Then we direct them to the facility of what we saving for.
Sir.
You know, and so that's why we kind of differ on the fact of resources, because of the fact that, you know, yeah, we need resources. We do need resources if we gonna do some nets. If we gonna stop fishing with a pole and we want to do a net. We want to see what you want to do is you grab them all. Because you talk about your school, you talk about some of the things that you want to do in the future, some things that you have accomplished. And so, but I tell you this, I said, you know what? But look, and I just told you this the other day, and you said you got a little ticked at me, but and you've been thinking about it though. But that's what God wanted me to do, make you think about it. You know, because how many more people we got to lose? How many more funerals we got to go to? How many more funerals we got to go to? Because I know a lot of these people, they just want to.
But here's the thing. Here's what
go back to the next.
But here's what makes me say that. The phone call is what really, because this man calling me said, really, he's saying, "Man, thank you. You sent me a great guy. This guy was a diamond in the rough."
But you know how many diamonds in the rough we got?
Right. So check this out. So now, hey, Jim, I got another one. I told him that. In the door when I gave Jay the job. I said, "I got another one in the chamber right now." "Really?" "Yeah, Jamil P.T. Smith. He graduated from U of I. He worked with Upper Bound. I need him next." Right? So now that I proved that Jay is cold, now we can get PT in there. Because PT want to be in there too. That's how I go. The relationship ain't for me or you. It's Harriet Tubman said I could have freed some more slaves if they would have knew they were slaves.
Man, And that's the thing about it, Brother Hub, is that, you know, we got so many. So this is what happens. When you've had failure after failure, you showed up. You don't know how you showed up. First of all, you don't know how you showed up. You showed up to a family that was just dysfunctional. You watched dysfunctionality all the way. You watched folks get dummied down, no information, you know, misinformation. You know, you go to the leadership and they don't even know. So you go to these parked car facilities where they don't even know, but they got their ear to the streets with they got their ear to religion, and they just giving you bits and pieces of information that they know that's leading you down a path that ain't even gonna lead you to where you supposed to be, okay? And so what's happening is this: then they send you off to school.
Right.
Some people half want to help you, some people half don't want to help you. If you act like you don't really want it, they don't give it to you, okay? Then they give you a test score that they give you a test that ain't even coincide with the environment that you grew up in, right? And so you end up getting a Z on the test, okay? You end up getting a Z on the test. So now the test solidifying what your environment's saying. So now you thinking you no good, you ain't meant for society, you can never be productive. All of these different things are you thinking about, right? So then you thinking that, you know, how can I make it in this life? So now you thinking, and then in this shooter's environment where you got a lot of them,
Right.
because now we didn't drop the ball on generations of them, so it's a lot of them, and they've been raising each other. They don't think they can even make it to be 21.
But see, Sean, I heard a young lady on Facebook Live today, and it hurt me so bad because her passion was real, right? But her conversation is on a construction site. It ain't even touching the architect suite. You see what I'm saying? And so one of the statements she made was, well, y'all shooting it, y'all getting mad because the police shooting, right? Shooting us, but y'all shooting us. And so it's a gross mindset to compare the two, right? Not on my watch, Inc. started because Keywan got killed by the police and they was trying to justify it, right? And where I really hit them at, because I'm a military man, so I'm a government employee, so I get paid to be professional. See, I get paid to be professional. Those Thundercats, they don't get paid to be professional. It's a difference. And so they paid to protect and serve. The shooter, on the other hand, is living day to day. Just like you just said, most have no purpose, no infrastructure, and no hope. Don't nobody believe in them. And I want to pause, and I want you to tell the story, I got in my notes, about when we was in front of the whip, and the community leader, I ain't going to even say his title, but he was
in charge of something.
He was in charge of something. And he was trying to talk to the Thundercats. Right, and share that with the people.
And unfortunately, that young man is not with us anymore. But at that moment, at that time, that we were seeking to give him some help, right? And his buddies,
and his buddies,
yeah, and it wasn't much of them. Yeah. And some of them ones we see right now that they got in their 20s and their 30s. It was a bunch of them, but they was young then. But at the same time, they was a product of their environment. And so when I'm the big bad because I'm in charge of something.
Right.
Y'all need to do.
Right.
And he looked at him and said, man, you got plastic on your windows. You got 3 donuts on your car. Man, he pulled out his knot and said, here, man, go get your car fixed before you come tell me something.
Right.
Get your stuff together before you come tell me something.
Right.
Okay, so let's go to the architect chamber.
Let me say this real quick. We think paying them $10 an hour, we got it all messed up, man, because we out of touch. We think, oh, man, we got a program, we hooked up, we going to give them $10 an hour. Herb, can you send some people our way?
You're going to give them $10 an hour, and everything that they look at, whether if it's clothes, whether if it's cars, whether if it's, you know, the fact of getting out of here somewhere and going to enjoy their lives, $10 an hour can't even get them that. You know, you let them listen to the music that they listen to almost 24 hours a day. It's telling them that they better than that, or they should be doing more than that. And then you send them over to a deadbeat job, and then the person that's training them look like they almost ready for a casket.
They barely make it.
And you want to tell them to be that. And they like, nah. And when they know they can go back over here and do whoop wop the bam, do this, move that, move that, move that, move, and make more than what he did, and he can make more than that in 2 hours than what he made in 2 weeks.
I'll never forget, I was working at J.W. Ader, and Mr. Green, shout out to Mr. Green, principals, and Amy Boscolo. But we had a heated conversation one time. And, he was kind of halfway, not really threatening my job, but, he kind of took it close there. And I looked at him and I said, let me tell you something, man. I got a $100,000 operation over there. And I got somebody in there, sitting in there, so I can help these kids, man. Don't you know what you pay me in a week or a month? I'll go make that in one day. Don't ever in your life threaten me about what you paying me, man.
People do that.
Because you paying me crumbs.
They'll do that.
I'm here because I want to be here.
They'll do that.
Right? Matter of fact, I'm going to come in the morning for an hour and for free. See, and bring my team with me.
I was over at, I was with Goal Getters one day. And the kids was pretty disruptive, me and a couple city leaders and stuff. And I
remember that. I was there.
It started frustrating. You know what I'm saying? Because here I am, I'm losing money.
You losing money.
I'm losing money.
I remember that.
I never got no city money and funding and this and that. I don't write grants.
Right.
I'm here because of the fact that I've never forgot the dudes in the Carhartt suits that said, Sean, I like your haircut. I'm going to stick with you. I said, man, y'all stick with me, man. I'm going to look out for you, man. And I've never forgot that. But let's go back to the architect chamber.
But
let me go to the architect chamber.
I want to comment on what you just said.
Let me go to the architect chamber one
It
second.
must not be meant for me.
Okay. This is the reason why this is so important.
Yes, sir.
I talked to one of the councilmen, right? And we had a great conversation before our class, right? And his comment was that since we doing the financial literacy thing, and he put his ear to the streets. So many city leaders don't even understand how money even works. So many organizational leaders don't even understand the stuff that we've been learning. And so when they make whether if it's a national decision or they make a community decision, they doing off what they think and not off what they know. And it affects the decisions that they make for our lives affect us for generations after generations after generations.
I call that no matter how high you jump, you can't get no higher than your head.
Yeah. And so, because you just don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know. You feel, and there's nothing wrong with not knowing.
Well, it frustrates the people who do know, though.
Yeah, and it will.
It frustrates the people.
This what frustrate me.
I never got in trouble in the Army unless I was following a parked car. I never got in trouble.
You know when it frustrates me? When I have to go to and have to go pick one of the young folks up.
Yeah. Well, you hit me the other day.
And I had to look at a 6'4" foot Marcus Boo Man Brown that should be somewhere doing something.
Playing football, college football. Yeah.
When I look at somebody that's so influential, like a Rakim Vineyard, when I look at some of these guys that I know should be probably running some around here and having our community so productive. We always say, we had CC, we had Sut, we had Jackie, we had this. Well, we never built anybody up to take their place. We just moved on. And then we say, well, this is where our community used to be. It ain't like that no more. I always tell Mother Hattie, we can't eat off an old Thanksgiving meal. We need a new Thanksgiving meal. But if you cut everybody short, we never can get a new Thanksgiving meal. So we got nobody in the kitchen. The folks y'all supposed to be in the kitchen, you just sent to the penitentiary. You cut them off when they were 13 years old. Told them he'd never be nothing. You cut her off. You let her go ahead and listen to all this garbage, Nicki Minaj and all this old type of fictitious stuff. And then when they ride down that path, they run into every roadblock that's out there. Now they got to try to regather themselves, and here y'all is over in pockets scrambling for the funding. We just finished talking about funding. Oh, $2.3 trillion finna hit the street. What that's gonna look like for the black community?
You know, I saw a 3-year-old, I think she was 3, on Facebook twerking. And I'm looking at my 3-year-old praying for the lady next door. That's 2 different worlds. You see what I'm saying? And so in my mind, I got to prepare my 3-year-old to help this 3-year-old. I'm raising my 3-year-old. I see this 3-year-old twerking, and I ain't mad.
And every adult saying, go,
because that's the reality.
But
right?
you building it up for a strip joint?
Well, whatever. But that's the reality. But strategic planning, man, I got to train my 3-year-old to look out for that 3-year-old.
Yeah.
So when they get in school together, she can rub up on. I ain't talking about when she get old. I'm talking about when she get to school with her. Come on, girl, come over here with me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the way you gotta think, man. And I'm gonna go back to the phone call, man. That's how simple it should be, man.
Right.
If we move us out the way and get these kids to skate, get these young men and young women to stage, and just kind of coach them through, right? Jay didn't need much coaching. He just needed opportunity.
Yeah.
He was stuck.
Yeah.
Man, he was headed to the NBA and his health, boom. He trying to take care of his boys, co-parenting and all this. And man, I feel like I'm at a dead end. I was with him every day in basketball practice. Man, so as a leader, man, I'm waiting on the opportunity. I already got a guy. You see what I'm saying? And so if we move us, and I don't want to, because I could really go, I could names and everything, but I'm be good today. If we move ourselves out the way and move our wallet out the way, right, and look at these guys who just need an opportunity. You see what I'm saying? Who was a rapper who his workers couldn't shine because he was all, not Hammer, Puff Daddy. Man, Puffy, you in all the videos. Get out the video, man, and let these kids shine. You see what I'm saying? You can't pay them crumbs. They not going for crumbs. Even the ones that's working for you that you paying crumbs, they working on the plan. Ain't no respect there. The Bible said the kids will be weaker but wiser.
So let me go here, Hub, because it's this mentality that we have, right? It's a mentality that we have in the African American community that we don't have what we need, and we're religious folk,
right?
You know, we know God gives us everything we need,
right?
And He give it to us more abundantly than what we need. So hold on.
Okay.
So that means we got overflow.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
So when we get to talking about the resources and this, because I say things like this here, right? I think we got everything that we need, right?
I believe that with all my heart.
I think we got everything that we need. I just think we don't trust each other enough. We don't trust each other. We come up with a million excuses why we can't work together. You know, we come up with a million excuses why it ain't gonna work, whatever plan it is. I don't care what the plan is. We come up with a million excuses or why we can't be at a certain place at a certain time to be productive. We'll wait till George Floyd, and then we go see somebody else protest, and then we want to involve ourselves with a protest or make a bigger and better protest. So I was listening to something. Right? So, May 31st, 1921, Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? What happened is that those people had everything they needed when they was in Tulsa. And this is when, May 31st, 1921.
Is that Black Wall Street?
That's Black Wall Street.
Okay.
In Tulsa, Oklahoma. But that's when it all kicked off, when the riot started, okay? But going back on that, these people, they didn't have NAACP, they didn't have the National Council for African American Men, Women, they didn't have Operation Push, they didn't have Black Caucus, they didn't have stimulus check, they didn't have no trillions of dollars, they didn't have all this representation.
That's good.
They didn't have none of that. But they had everything they needed. They had taxi cab companies. They had movie theaters. They had hotels. They had daycare. They had attorney's office. They had their own doctor's office. They had bowling alleys. They had everything that they needed. They was circulating their money. You know, Madam C.J. Walker, she in there got her hair salons and everything going. Everything rolling. Mm-hmm. But now we got to go say, oh, man, could you please save us? No, it's called misappropriation of funds.
Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
It's called misappropriation of funds. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We rinse and repeat. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now we gotta check ourselves and see if our motives pure.
Rinse and repeat. I want you to let
rinse and repeat.
Yeah. Because that's huge. That's what we're doing.
So what happens is that we misappropriate the funds of whether it's designated purpose.
Mm-hmm. Intent purpose.
Intent purpose is, and then after that, after the funding is gone, we go back and then we beg for more.
Right, with a different name.
With a different name. With a different name, we got a new outfit on.
Yeah.
You know, the problem is worse. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We just switched out one face for another face. We meant to help the oldest boy. Now he gone, and the youngest boy facing the same issue. Because a lot of us don't stand up and say the tough stuff, or we don't got enough time for it.
Sean, I made a comment on Facebook, and I'm gonna stand by it. I don't think it's going to get no better no time soon because of what you just said. People are comfortable with rinsing and repeat, right? Because their motives are not pure. And so until this spills over to U of I, until U of I have to put their foot down and say we got to do something different, we paying y'all to do this.
No, you messing our chips up.
You messing our chips up. Until that happens, it's gonna be a cycle.
It's always a change when that. But see, what happens is that we put a whole lot of people in college. We can't say we ain't got college. We ain't got information. We got information. I mean, but what are we doing with it? Do we share information, or do we even want information? We so accustomed for people to dictate stuff to us. You know, we're used to that. We're conditioned people, right? So we used to Easter Sunday, and we used to, you know, everybody go get an outfit for Easter Sunday, and we so used to Sunday where the guy stands up front, he's in charge, he give us the information, and then it's stuck information, you know, and then so when our folks go off and get education and more knowledge, then we don't come back and we don't share that information, right? So the information is not shared, or we don't trust the information. And so we stuck in the same place. We stuck in the same place.
Yesterday we got a snapshot. We got a snapshot in the real estate class last night, and I don't want to put him on blast. He's over 70.
Yeah.
But he gave us an eye-opener. He closed the book and gave us an eye-opening perspective of how they look at us. And it was so real. Elaborate on that.
So me and my brother Hub, you know, and I'm telling you, I was super exhausted, you know, because when you're doing a whole lot as far as your life and working and all of this other stuff, and then we got a class that we take, which is a real estate class, a couple times a week for a few hours at night. And so, but I'm listening to this guy, our instructor, and so we were talking about mortgages, and then we went and talking about amortizations and what happened with the 2006 real estate when everything dropped out the bottom. And so we were discussing that. And he was talking about amortizations. He was talking about, you know, percentages of loans that was given out. And he talked about the policy restrictions that Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton lessened the restrictions with Fannie Mae about how we can qualify for loans in minority communities. Okay, but I already know it's not a lot of us in the real estate industry, and so I called you right after the class because I ain't want to make no big stink in the class and it seemed like that I'm trying to be Al Sharpton in the class. You know what I'm saying?
Leave that to me.
You know,
I do it so well.
But I absorb and because of military, I watch everything and I listen to everything. And so when I got to listening to what he said, he entitled that the program that was set up the rest of the realtors and the people in the mortgage industry and all that called it a ninja program.
Ninja.
They called it a ninja program. And it was designed for African American minority families, okay? Now, I already told my brother Hub, it's this right here. First of all, when we find out that type of information, the game always changes,
Right.
okay? When we find out that the door been open and somebody left the door open, like at an apartment building, you know, you see the door wide open, you ain't got to ring the doorbell because the door open.
Right.
We find out that information, the game changes on us, right? So what happened is that they knew the information, but when they started seeing us come through the door, they got no income.
No
The acronyms for ninja. So the N, the I,
No
the N,
income.
the J.
No income.
So no income,
NJ, no job.
no job, and no assets.
And no assets.
But they get a loan because of the fact that back then, when they lessened those things, you never had to report, never had to justify income. You just go say, hey, look, hey, man, I make 80. How much you make? Oh, I make 80,000.
Run it.
You know, and they was giving them loans, and then you didn't have to pay where they actually, they say you got to pay 20, you got to put 20% down. They would roll the 20% down into the loan. We didn't know that because a lot of us didn't go get them loans back then. That means that other people were getting advantage of that opportunity.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
See,
sir.
that's why we always seem like, man, we can't go nowhere. We're not going anywhere. We're treading in the same place because leadership don't find out vital information, or if they do, it's personal information now.
And it's for personal gain.
It's
for personal gain.
Because if I keep you down, you're gonna always need me. See, I want to see everybody do a breakout.
Now ask me this. Ask me why I'm going to real estate school.
Why are you going to real estate school?
Because I'm going to be a pastor, and I want to be so diverse and so equipped. Because I'm gonna have a whole lot of J. Simpsons in my parishionage, in my congregation, and I want to be able to speak a word, and then grab a hold to it and go get it. That's how simple it is. I ain't trying to sell no 100 houses. I don't even know if I'm gonna sell 10 houses. But I'm gonna have the knowledge not only to help my parishioners when they buying a house, but to show them how to get a house and to stop paying rent. So all it is a piece of arsenal, right? So they don't get mad when they see me in the Rover.
You know,
I'm gonna help them get them a Rover if that's what they want.
So reverse that question to me.
Sean, why are you going to real estate school?
Okay, so the reason why I paused to go to real estate class is this, okay? Because information is power. I've learned that through the stock market. Thank you for introducing me to the stock market. I mean, pausing my day and changing. Because as I learn more, I'm starting to, as I keep on focusing and learning more, sometimes I get frustrated because it's information I should have been knowing with the people that I've been connected with and the spaces that I've been. As much time as I've done, those leaders should have been imparting this into me, right? So, but I'm a biblical guy, okay? So I believe in that, okay? I get frustrated with y'all sometimes, charged to my head, not to my heart. Get frustrated because of stuff that you should have been telling me while I was in your space and you had the mic, okay? So the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven.
Of God.
Of God.
Seek ye first the kingdom of God,
there we go.
And his righteousness.
And his righteousness.
And all other things will be added unto you.
Okay. What kingdom have you been, if I listen to you interpret it to me, what kingdom am I seeking? That's where our young folks at right now. What kingdom am I seeking?
That's rough.
What kingdom am I seeking if I've been listening to you and you a parked car? I'm seeking the wrong kingdom. Okay?
Can't get no higher than your head.
Okay, so the second thing on that is that thy word have I had.
Hid in my heart.
What kind of words you been giving me?
I may not sin against you.
What kind of words you been, if you interpreting the word, and I've listened to all kind of misinterpretations of the word. So I'm in class now so I could get it for myself. I got to get it for myself. So that when I give that information out, I had a woman on my live the other day, and she said, Sean, she said, tell me more about Bitcoin. I said, Miss Mary, let me tell you about Bitcoin.
I don't know.
I don't know enough about it. I don't know enough about Bitcoin. I'm not studious on Bitcoin. I can't tell you nothing that I don't want to seem super smart and I'm super dumb.
You got a lot of respect.
Because I'm going to make you dumb. I'm not here to make you more dumber. See, some people come in your life to make you more dumber, to make them look smart. And that's, and I'm hurting you. It ain't about, for me, you know what I'm saying? It ain't about, a lot of people put a lot of stuff on black, white, Asian, this, that, and this, and this, and that. It made me just as more pissed off when I seen that black dude stomping that Asian woman than as I did when I seen that police officer try to switch out and say she was reaching for a taser and popped a young man with a gun. I was just as mad. But I cannot get so caught up and frustrated within my anger that I can't stay focused where I can't save nobody.
We got 2 more topics. We got about 15 minutes. Let's go with the vaccination shot. You took it. I didn't take it.
Okay.
Right? My brother texted me about a week and a half ago. Let me back up. I saw a lot of community leaders taking the shot, Facebook Live. And I told you, something's up. Because they taking this shot, they go on Facebook Live. Why is all these people going on Facebook Live to take the shot? Come on, something. And I got discernment. But I didn't know why. I didn't know why they were taking the shot until my brother texted me. Said, man, they got bread. They got, well, how much was it, you remember? They got 200, the NAACP got a lot of money for people to take the shot. You took the shot. I didn't take the shot. I was in the medical field for my whole entire career. We differ in that. And my thing, I'm speaking, I told some people I would address it on here, so my thing about the shot is we on uncharted waters. And this is my personal belief, and then you can defend why you took the shot. We on uncharted waters, and man, I'm listening to the Bible every night because it's when I really look at where the world is, and the instructor last night kind of hit it. He kind of preached last night. He really did. He showed a different side of him, and I was right there with him. I'm like, man, this man is really preaching. He's supposed to be teaching us real estate, but he preaching, and he was really saying this: we in the end times. And so, I just feel like it takes about 15 to 20 years to really know if these immunizations work or not. That's my take on it. And so I really think it's like some other stuff, we're making it up as we go along, right? And so, but if you're going to give me some bread, right? And I'm going to travel light here because I don't want to hurt nobody's feeling, but I got to address this. If you're going to give me some bread to take this shot, and see, I was in the Army, and I was a top sergeant, right? I had a whole platoon. My platoon was about 80 to 110, depending on what day it was. And so they had to convince me, they had to try to trick me to trick them, right? I'm talking to government. And so I already know how the game worked. So I knew it was something there, but I couldn't prove it until my brother texted me. And when he texted me, he said, man, they got some bread.
Well,
1 + 1 is 2.
Okay, so they're throwing money out here to health departments and all kinds of different places and commercials and billboards and all this type of stuff. And trying to get influential people to influence the African American community to take the shot. I ain't get a dime.
That's what I'm saying.
I got on Facebook and just wanted to let the people that I influenced to say, man, hey, look, take the shot. And the reason why I took the shot, because when I got ready to go over to Desert Storm, I took a bunch of shots and I didn't know what was in them shots. You know, and so I took them shots, not knowing. Paid to take so I took them shots. But let's go back to your your comment that you said, because we're in the end times.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to end times.
Yes. You
know what? A lot of us are in the end times. A lot of us making proper preparations and not be to stretch that end time. I've been hearing they've been saying end times before, back in biblical days. It's last day. Yeah, it is the last days for a lot of us. because you seeking something else, and they're not gonna bring it to you, or you looking for who gonna bring you what you need, and you picturing it who it's gonna be. And so you don't develop the relationships and you don't gather the information. So it is end times for you. It's gonna be end times. You know, when you sit up and you don't do your own due diligence and find out things about the vaccine, things about who's Moderna, what type of researchers they got on there, who's endorsing this, different other things, who's Pfizer. We just going out what somebody think. Same thing I said when we was talking about the pulpit preaching and anybody, you going off of what somebody else said, you going off of their influence. Only thing I was trusting in was God, because I said, man, I don't want to be around the wrong person and take my 85-year-old mama COVID. I couldn't live with myself if I killed my mama off and I gave her COVID.
And that's respect.
And my body can handle.
Shot, right?
My mom took the shot. My dad took the shot. You know, but if during that time when it was really, you know, we didn't know nothing about it, I just said, man, well, I'm younger. But don't let me be the one that come over to the house and want to hug on my mama, and she done sprayed me, because you ain't coming to my mama's house and let you spray down with Lysol. I'm keeping it 100. She gonna skeet you down from head to toe. Right. You know, and so.
Well, you used to that, because Tanya say, "What?"
She gonna skeet you down from head to toe. You know what I'm saying? And so, but I don't want to be the one that give my mama COVID.
That's respect.
And so I think that the rest of us should feel the same way, because, I mean, if you know you ain't took the vaccine and you go into a public place, put your mask on, man. Put your mask on. You know, I tell folks at my funerals all the time, we got a sanitation station sit up there. But if you got existing health conditions, come to the viewing. And if you got super existing health conditions where it could cause you to be on a ventilator, just say a private prayer for the family at home and stay at home. You know, don't sacrifice your life for that.
That's good. That's good.
And don't hurt nobody else out here, because what's happening is hurt people. And that's what's happening with the shooters. They grew up with generational hurt, and now they're out here taking it out on innocent people in the community.
We got about 8 minutes. Let's talk about the village, right? And so I was in St. Louis getting some family time in. And I continue all day long with he ain't my nephew, but he was like my nephew when he got shot. All I heard is it's the parents. Everywhere, every post, all these parents ain't this, these parents ain't that, this and that. And so I'm thinking, man, what happened to the African proverb, it takes a village? So I would like you to articulate, how do we hold the village and the parents accountable? I think it has to be a balance. I do think let me say this. Let me preface it by saying it starts at home, right? But check this out. This is why I had to bring up the village. Man, my mama and my daddy, up until 11, 12 years old, they were together. My mom worked for the university. My dad worked for the university. My dad ran a PAL program, had about 80 African-American males bridging the gap between North End and University of Illinois. And so I grew up, that's why I got the answer. I can't help it. I grew up in the answer. And so I say that to say, man, I had a pretty good upbringing. Then when my mom and dad divorced, she married Bishop Underwood, who's the closest thing to God that I ever met in my life, right? And so even with this great parenting, right, and Big Mama and Carol and Lenore and Dover and Aunt Mary and Big John and Lena May having a business and done my court, man, I had a pretty good upbringing. Man, I still almost went to penitentiary. You hear me? I still found a way to almost, and I'm talking about I grew up in the church. So I'm looking at me and the great childhood I had and still was headed for penitentiary if I didn't join the Army. Man, these kids ain't got a chance. They ain't got a chance. I had Jackie. Let me tell you, God saw something in me. He said, this guy's anointed. Right? He gonna really, really move the crowd when he get older. So I got to make sure King School, Douglas Center, and the Boys Club raised him. Right. See, you couldn't go to Boys Club if you was Douglas Center. Okay. And if you was Boys Club, you better not go to Douglas Center. It was only a few of us could move around like that.
So let me get that 5 minutes to respond back to your question. Okay, you said who are we gonna hold accountable?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, what is the balance?
Where's for the village, right?
Yeah.
You seeing the results of a missing village. You seeing the results now. The accountability comes where we're not going to be able to hold each other accountable like God's going to hold each other accountable.
Right.
We seeing judgment right now. What we seeing the destruction.
That's good.
God is giving the judgment to us right now.
That's good.
We thinking that we gotta wait till we die and go through the heavenly gates for somebody to say judgment there. Yeah, that's gonna be judgment there.
That's person, individual.
But he giving us a living judgment right now. He pulling the most precious gifts out of our families right now in our face.
In our face.
And we watching it happen day after day after day after day with no response.
Wow.
The village sleep.
Right.
We done been in spaces where they done rocked us to sleep.
Do you remember that first meeting I went to down at the city building? And I ain't gonna mention no names, but all the big shots was there. And we left. I said, Sean, it's leadership. No, it ain't. And I said, Sean, they sleep at the wheel. You remember that?
Yeah.
Has anything changed? That was 2009. Has anything changed?
Actually,
I think it's worse.
Actually, it has gotten worse because we had over 300 and some shootings last year toward the end of the year. Now we're up to 70 shootings, and we're only January, February, March, and we're 4 months into the year, and we're up to 70. And it ain't, and like most of the people either on Facebook or I talk to, it ain't even got hot yet. So I know we got to get up out of here. It is funny how time flies when we having fun, man. It is funny how time flies when we having fun. I thank you for tuning in to another episode of Let the Truth Be Told.
Peace.